Welcome back to the channel and welcome to the new workshop. Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays, as this is that time of year. So if you've seen the previous video, the workshop news, you'll know that we left Eastern North Carolina and moved to Eastern Tennessee. So this is the new workshop in the extended part of the garage. My car would be located over there. And so probably from the pegboard on is what will be the workshop. There'll be some other things added other places, but the permanent workshop will be located right here. So I'll show you some of the components. It's certainly not fixed up. We just got the stuff delivered on the truck about a week ago, getting stuff out as fast as we can. And but I'll show you some of the features, some of the things I worked on during the period between when we got ready to move and now, and some of the things we're going to be doing in the future. So things that you may remember from the previous workshop, we have the Dutch chest over here and the Dutch chest storage system with the set of drawers and the rolling base. Back we have the rolling tool caddy or tool cart. That remains the same. My workbench will be mainly against the pegboard, but I'm feeling like I will be bringing it out to work on it because, you know, remember I like to go around the workbench. I don't like to be confined to one side. So that's where it remains permanently, but it will kind of move back and forth. The Allied work table, you may remember, if you had seen some of the shorts I had done, you know that that went away. In the short, it shows me throwing it in a trash can. It actually went in a dumpster at a convenience center, but I can't really film that. So anyway, it's gone. The Works Pegasus is here, but it's got stuff all over the place, so it's not usable just yet. And I've got tools all over the floor, and so you can see a picture of that. Here in the back, we have the Cobalt workbench. That came along because it held a lot of storage tools, or stored a lot of tools in it along the back and in the drawers. Underneath, normally I keep my jigs and helps, but I have to repair this. It was broken by the movers. Surprise. So that's where that is right now. But eventually, that is where the jigs and helps go. There were some toolboxes that held some of those. They were in such bad condition, I threw those in the dumpster as well. So, you know, there were some changes on the way here. Additional items in the workshop, there's a shelf up here that I'll probably put some longer pieces of wood on, some wood storage. Down there's a bookcase that somebody bolted to the wall on a 2x8 or something. That I've got for now. It's got liquids on it. Some of the stuff I actually brought in my car, things like motor oil and the cleaning stuff and things you use around the garage. And then beyond that, it looks like some cabinets from the 1950s or 60s, again, bolted to the wall. Those things were all there in place when we got here. I might leave it there for now, but I think eventually I'm going to rip those down and put something more permanent in place. Future woodworking projects for sure. Then in the middle, you've got the water shutoff, and then there's another spigot below that that does allow me to get some water in here if I need to. There's also a bathroom located right next to the garage. Because this is a Eastern Tennessee basement rancher, there are bathrooms located very conveniently to the workshop area that provide, obviously, not only what a bathroom provides, but also a water source. And a lot of times you need water source when you're doing woodworking, glue ups, that sort of thing. And that way you don't have to keep a little jar of water like I had before. You can actually have running water nearby. One of the nifty items that I acquired when I moved into this house was this clock. This clock was left behind by somebody. Never seen one like this before, but maybe you have. Let's look at the camera. There we go. So it's made of, obviously, spoons, forks, serving spoons, slotted spoons. On the face, the hands of the clock are made by a fork and knife. And so it is got a place for a battery. So I went ahead and stuck one in and sort of put it on the back of my... if you follow me on Instagram, you've already seen this. And it's... what can I say? It's a unique thing, a unique clock. It came with the house, and why not put it in my workshop? And that's exactly what I did. So we're still in a bit of transition, still getting this up and ready, because of course we had all the rooms to get ready, and the kitchen and the bedrooms and all that kind of thing. So this is sort of the later things. But oh, and the machinist chest, you can't see it, it's right here. In the old place, there was a blue table that was like bolted to the wall. If you had seen the Workshop Spaces video way back in the Workshop series last year, it showed that blue table and some of the stuff I did on it. That is where the machinist chest was. There's no room for that, so I'm going to actually have to build something to put that on top of, and it will be located in the back corner. So for now, it's sitting on top of one of the wooden stools I made, just to get it out of the way. So talk about some of the things that I made specifically for the move process. I'll talk about that next. The last major woodworking project that I did before packing up to move was to make these two crates, I guess, two boxes. What I wanted to do first was, I didn't bring a lot of wood with me. Large pieces of wood were cut down to size. If you had noticed on YouTube, I made several shorts. YouTube shorts, they're only a minute in length. If you haven't seen them, go check them out. They kind of span the time between when we were still in Eastern Carolina and when we came here and some of the projects I worked on here. I can see why people on YouTube use shorts so often, because they get more views and they're so easy to make. Now, for my channel, I will continue making these long videos, but I think I'll make some shorts as well. They really do allow you to put more content out there for a fraction of the time spent to make a longer video. Anyway, you'll see in some of those videos I cut different things on the Works Pegasus, including the 2x4 that was featured in the pros and cons video, the plywood, and that's how I was able to bring some of that stuff with me. Nothing huge came with us. So same thing with plywood. You buy plywood, you acquire plywood or large pieces of pine or things like that. You don't want to just leave that behind. So what I did is I made these boxes. And so the boxes are just simple boxes with sides made out of plywood, tops made out of plywood. They're held together with wood screws or deck screws. This one here, the first one I made, the larger one, the two sides and the bottom are actually a piece of 1x12 pine that I had used for painting for many years and wanted to keep it here, to bring it here to use for a future project. So I made this. No glue was used on this because the idea being, when we get here, the screws come out, you just trim off the areas where the holes are if you need to, and voila, you've got pieces of wood that you need for the projects that I make, because I work at a smaller size. So anyway, this was the first box that I made, and the boxes were used primarily for holding the heavy tools and some of the larger heavy items that I have given to the moving company to move. Kind of hard for them to damage these. These are pretty well made. Again, not the finest work, but in a pinch, took about a day to make both boxes, and wow, I mean, they do last. Again, I can take them apart, or I can stack them on top of each other and use them for storage. So that's another great use of the boxes. The tools for this one are pretty much on the floor of the garage. This one held most of my jigs and helps. So you got the shooting board, you've got different pieces of wood. If you saw the small projects video, here's the spoon. Doesn't look like one, but you'll have to talk to Paul Sellers about why that comes out looking like that. It's a sticking board. So all of that stuff used to be in another place, and now it's in here, and I'll have to find a new home for it at some point. So those are two projects that I worked on during that time. Additionally, we had wood. This is that big piece of plywood that was featured in all the pros and cons videos and made into these 4 pieces. These pieces will become, it originally was going to be a Puzzle Box 6. I think now it's going to be a portable desk. It will still have special features and secret features inside, so it'll have some of the workings of a puzzle box, but it will be primarily for doing drawing or painting in a place other than my desk. And I believe some of these pieces are the sides. This large piece is probably going to be the top. And so that would be the based on the 9x12 piece of paper that I use for my watercolor and acrylic paintings. And so that is a good use of a piece of plywood that, again, was originally going to be for a project, but I never came up with something for that, and now I'll use it for this project. Additionally, another way to carry kitty litter. We have 2 cats. Kitty litter is kept in, or sold sometimes in a jug or a pail. This is a pail I bought several years ago for the idea of putting tools in for this sort of a move. Instead, I put scrap wood in it. So this has got scrap wood, different sizes, including, this is that piece of oak from the pros and cons videos that is going to be Puzzle Box 5. So I had hinted that I would continue working on Puzzle Box 5. I had not gotten very far. When we were thinking about coming, I started to rush into making Puzzle Box 5, concerned we would not have a home where I'd have a shop. And then when we did find a home and put a contract on it, then I pretty much stopped working on it, knowing I would pick it up here and it would become a Tennessee project rather than a North Carolina project. So that is Puzzle Box 5, or the beginnings of that, and that will probably get going next year in January. And so, as I said, I had not brought any long pieces of wood, so today I went and bought this 8-foot piece of pine from an Ace Hardware nearby. This is for a closet shelving project. Really, I just need something to bolt into the studs of the shelf. Otherwise, the whole set of shelf can come down as it did yesterday or the day before. So this is the next project. Not a major woodworking project, more of a at-home, moving into a new place kind of project, but that's what happens. You do get into those types of projects in a home that is new to you, not necessarily a new home. So for next time, hopefully, I'll have more of the back shop set up, more tools on the wall, a better setup here. I apologize for the lighting. There are 3 fluorescent light fixtures above me. That's what came with the place. 2 of them look like they're circa the Korean War, Vietnam. I'm not sure. The house was built in the 60s. It could be their original to the house. Who knows? One of the garage door openers was definitely original to the house because they don't make that particular one anymore. Those have since been replaced. So also the HVAC system is down here, and there might be some feedback from the noise from that. I don't know. But it does keep the house warm, and that's all that matters. So going forward, we'll have videos on some of the extra woodworking spaces here at this new site, and get back to some of the videos we were doing before. I have a small projects video, part 2, that I'll be doing in January. And then some of the Nifty Tools series, workshop series, and some of the others. So stay tuned for more in 2023.